What is happening, guys? Mike here. Welcome back to the channel for an all-new product review. Today we'll be visiting both ends of the hair spectrum. We got on one end gel type water-based pomades and nice slick hairstyles, and the other end we got matte finish, high texture, high volume. We got something for everybody in today's video. This is my review of Mason's pomade. Alright guys, once again, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for joining me here today. Like I said a second ago, I think we got a very interesting video planned for today. But before we get into that, we do of course need to take a look at our submission from one of you subscribers in today's subscriber spotlight. Today the spotlight is on Brad and his modern quiff, done all the way up with the awesome Courage Clay from Anchors. Big thank you to Brad for sending in that submission. I think we can all agree your style looks awesome. And if you guys want to be featured in a future episode, instructions on how to send in your photo will be in the description for you guys to check out. For now though, let's shift our focus back over to today's products and the new brand that produces them. We are of course talking about Mason's Pomade today, which is a brand that's actually named after John Landis Mason, who was an American tinsmith best known for the invention of the Mason jars, which is actually a fun fact that I knew nothing about. And I think it's very cool that they based their theme around this. Now, these are lab-made products, but that's not a problem here on the channel. We love both lab-made and homemade products, and we'll actually be looking again at both of their offerings here, including their gel pomade, their gel type water base, and their matte pomade. And with those being such different products, we do have a lot of different info to present and a lot of demos to look at. So let's get right into that, starting with a closer look. Here we go. Coming across my desk today is two very different products from Mason's Pomade. Let's start this off with the gel pomade. According to the brand, the Mason's Gel Pomade is a classic medium to stronghold water-based formula that is infused with aloe leaf juice and great for all hair types. It's also designed to rinse out with just water and features a clean and fresh cologne type scent. The product also comes in a 3.4 ounce jar for $20 US. Looking inside the jar, I think we got pretty much the typical gel type pomade looking back at us here. Scooping it out though, I think first impressions show that it's a bit more dry than slick in the breakdown, which is somewhat different than at least a few of the top gel types we've seen here on the channel. Moving on to the matte pomade. Again, according to the brand, this is a water-based, medium-hold, matte finish product that is designed for lightweight, textured looks or high-volume styles done with a blow dryer. Like the gel pomade, this one too is infused with aloe and actually contains biotin as well. Price-wise, this one too sits at $20 US for 3.4 ounces. Looking inside the jar here too, we are met with a nice and smooth pomade that's very smooth to the touch. Like a lot of other products we've seen, it comes out of the jar thick but slick and breaks down with a nice tack and dryness to it, along with a good amount of stickiness. Breaking it down in the hand here really gives us a good look at how it's going to perform in the hair. Now, regarding the demos today, I figured it would just be easier to just start with the water-based pomade since it is pretty straightforward being a gel type. So let's just go ahead and get started with that, which for me involved 3 scoops on, of course, damp hair. For the most part, this is a standard gel type. It does have a few things within the product itself that feel a bit different than some gel types out there, but for the most part, running it into my damp hair is very typical. I did have to experiment a bit with how damp my hair was versus the scoops and actual performance, because I noticed that was a major contributing factor to the pomade's performance, and I will talk more about that later. Here though, we got the product all worked in, and I'm starting in with the comb trying to achieve a style. I did find it a bit hard to style with, if I'm being honest. Initially, it didn't really stick my hair together well, but after a few minutes, it did start to set, and that allowed me to get some grip so I could then sculpt a style. Of course, when I filmed this, I didn't realize I ended up with that one friggin' hair sticking up, and seeing that there just kind of drives me nuts. Seeing that hair stick out, it did kind of give me a look at the endurance, because if the hair stuck out all day, which it did, stuck out all day, it gave me a look at how this actually endured throughout the day and the hold strength of the product. At 4 hours, we can see our alfalfa is still flying its flag high and living its best life there, holding up in the top of my head where everybody can see. We have obviously hardened up here, but as you can see by looking closer, it's still somewhat pliable, which actually is pretty good. For the next one here, I decided to go a bit longer and show 10 hours in, mostly because it was just holding so well. I thought, why stop at 8 hours when it's holding this good? It's still got everything, the hold, the volume, it hasn't budged. But as usual, if we take our spray bottle here and just spritz a few on through there, we can reset it and reshape it. I will admit though that as I'm reshaping it, I did lose a bit of the hold there, but again, we're talking 10 hours in here, and after restyling, there's plenty more to go from here. Now, we will of course go over my thoughts on this at the end of the video, but first we do need to get a look at the second product offered by this brand, the matte pomade. For this one, the brand actually recommends damp hair or towel-dried hair, but as usual, after testing it out and going through a few trial runs, I found that dry hair worked better for me. This is something I say in almost every video now. And of course, after we go through everything, I will tell you why. It's pretty much the same as usual, but I will discuss this more in detail towards the end of the video. But moving over to this demo, I did use 3 scoops on dry hair. This is a matte pomade, not exactly a matte paste in my opinion, but applying it into my hair for the first couple scoops is actually quite seamless, since I keep my hair the healthiest and softest I can, and the hold here is actually coming in quite well too. By the 3rd scoop, I do feel it's ready to style, but a comb at this point does become a bit hard since it is quite dry after the 3rd scoop, so using a wide tooth comb is necessary and works excellent in achieving a quick and what I think is a great looking style. I gotta say, I really love the fact that this product pretty much styled itself in my hair. I think it was extremely easy to use. Of course though, we do need to see how this held up throughout the day, so let's get a look at the endurance test on this one. At 4 hours in, I think we can for sure note some deflating going on there. Some of the air has for sure been let out, but looking at the style closely, you can see actually that the hold is still very much present in the hair. At 8 hours in, I think it actually looks pretty much the exact same, which is really awesome in my opinion that we didn't have any more deflating or loss of hold. I think it actually looks great here, but if I wanted to, I could still move it around and reshape it into a new style and just keep going. Now for the washout on both products, it's actually very easy to describe. They both washed out straight up with water. Super easy. I was very impressed with this. I think some of you guys will be too. It just rinsed right out with water. Done deal, super easy. For the scent here, I think they're both awesome. Both are kind of a cologne type scent. I think they're both actually would qualify as cologne type scents. I think they're both slightly different, but I kind of feel like they're along the same line as far as the notes go. And for me, that's really the kind of scent that I enjoy, the one that I really enjoy wearing because it's not overbearing, it doesn't aggravate my allergies. And I really just think that they did a great job on the scent choices with both of these products. As far as my final thoughts go on these, I'll take them one at a time. For the water-based pomade, I think this is pretty much a standard gel type with just a few things that make it stand out in a large pool of gel types that we have going around the community right now. And those things really just include the fact that it's a bit dry and it's not very slick, which I think does contribute to the hold and endurance later on, but comparing it to other gel types that we've seen lately, I think this one really is more in line in my mind with the Iron Society gel type, being as it's a bit dry, with one major difference though, in that this one doesn't lose hold within an hour. That being said, I think the only problematic areas for me was the styling. I found it a bit hard to style with, being as it didn't encourage the hair to stick together very well so that it could be styled and shaped and volume could be built built upon the style like we're used to seeing with pomades of this type. I will admit that it did end up working out in the end, and the style was actually not bad, but I did have to work quite a bit harder than I had with other products of this type, so that's why I label that as kind of an issue for me. Switching over now to the matte pomade, I thought this one was actually the VIP of the two for me. I thought this one was the one that worked better out of the two in my hair. Now, I did of course try it on damp hair. Like I've said a million times, I always test every product in multiple fashions, but for me, this one worked better in dry hair. On damp hair, it does work, but I did lose that volume, and I even lost a bit of the hold and in turn the endurance. That was just my hair though. I really think that you guys that love to style on damp hair for whatever reason, I think you will get good luck with this one. I do think that this one does work a little bit better than most on damp hair. It's just it didn't work all the way for me, and for me, I have a real problem using products on damp hair when I see that they work so well in dry hair. Hold wise, I do think it's spot on being a medium. I think for some it will be on the lighter end of medium for sure, but I think for me it was pretty spot on for that medium hold. For my hair type, obviously it worked great, and I think for folks with hair types like mine, you will find success here. I am kind of a bit skeptical though to say that this will work for people with super thick hair though, based on what I saw here, but I do think that folks with thin or fine hair are really going to enjoy this based on its great performance and the volume and texture and things like that. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. That being said, of course, the only thing that was problematic for me with this one was a very small thing actually, and that was the breakdown. It seems to me that the breakdown is a bit choppy, and that in turn can produce little chunks or pieces that can take some effort to break down in the hair. Again, that's a very small thing, but I know for some of you that is a big deal, so I just figured it was worth mentioning. For me, again, it was a very small thing, but I know that it's something that I need to look for as a reviewer. Really though, that was it. Beyond that, I really enjoyed this product. For comparisons though, I knew you guys would be just laying in wait with those million comparison questions, and so what I did here is I tried to make it quick and easy, and I made you guys a chart. Here's how it works. Feel free to hit pause while you review this too, but how this works is on the left, we have the matte pomade, and under each product that I thought would be comparable, we have the differences. So for example, we have the flagship matte paste. It's thicker than the Mason's pomade, so I put thicker there. So I encourage you guys to read this before you ask your questions, and if you decide to not watch and just comment how this compares to O'Dowd's, I'm gonna just refer you back to this. A lot of your questions can be answered by simply watching the video. And if there is a matte paste that you're wondering about that is not on the chart, I know I only listed a couple there, just go back and watch the video on that product and you will get the answer you're looking for. Lastly, of course, if you guys want to check out this brand, I do have a coupon code that's good for 15% off your order, and that along with links will be in the description for you guys to check out if you're interested. Thank you again for joining me here today for yet another review. I will of course be back with you guys again here in a couple of days, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure you tap that like button for me and drop me a comment if you'd be so kind. And if you want to be notified when my next video comes out, the easiest way to do that is to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. So I encourage you to do that and join us here on the channel. Thank you so much once again. Take it easy. I'll see you next time.